Brought to you by Bank of Baroda, India's international bank. Air India, a Star Alliance partner. Himalaya 10X Royal for men's power and health.
Hello and welcome to Chai Chat with Lavina. India and United Kingdom have had a history of over 200 years. Then in the past 70 years, we called it a little bit of a hangover, but a special relationship. After 70 years, I feel and see some sort of shift towards partnership, but not complete partnership for me yet, and we will get there. And to discuss that, we have a fantastic panel in a beautiful hotel called the Lalit on Tooley Street in London Bridge. Fantastic boutique hotel, and thank you for lovely food. We're already munching on it, as we always do in Chai Chat, and I have great pride to introduce my panel. On my left is the DHC, and it's also his birthday, Mr. Dinesh Patnaik. Happy birthday! So by the time it comes to you, we would have celebrated it.
On camera.
On my right here, Mr. Manoj Ladva, and his book is the one that I have to pitch 5 times before he leaves. So I'm going to do it one right now. Winning Partnership, India and UK Relationship Beyond Brexit. And that takes me to Baroness Prussia, who has instructed me not to talk about Brexit, but we will and have to.
I haven't instructed, I said the relationship is beyond Brexit.
Member of Parliament Bob Blackman, our regular, and a fantastic Member of Parliament. Yeah. Always wins. Even if Theresa May calls a snap poll in the in-between.
No more snap election.
No, not for me. I can't cover anymore.
He represents the maximum Indian community.
Almost Indian. I won't say what Mr. Patnaik said a little while back. And CEO of, actually, what should I say? Outgoing CEO of Bank of Baroda, Mr. Dimendra Trivedi, and across the new CEO, incoming CEO of Bank of Baroda, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal. Yeah. Welcome all to London to discuss India and UK relationship. Should I take it straight to you?
Absolutely.
Please pitch the book. Tell me, is there a paradigm shift in this that is being discussed?
I think the book is trying to highlight the contours of what a future winning partnership between the UK and India could look like. You know, you talked about the 200, actually it's 400 years of history between the UK and India, and then you talked about the post-colonial era. What the book is looking at is the post-colonial era, and we've identified 2 or 3 dangers. One is that we sense that the relationship is plateauing in many areas, and therefore it's becoming more and more of a transactional relationship. Yes. And what the book's advocating is that we need to move from a transactional relationship to a more transformational relationship for both countries and people of both countries. And secondly, you know, there's lots of talk around the world when politicians meet one another, world leaders meet one another, about special relationships between countries. What the book's advocating is that the UK and India are in a unique position to have a global relationship, a global partnership. And so from transactional to transformational, from special to global is what are the key themes of the book.
And that's what too.
That's something I agree on, because what is important about this book is it says beyond Brexit.
Yes.
Brexit is just a blip on the paradigm.
Is it overdone now? Is it almost?
And frankly, India-UK relations are much bigger than Brexit or any other issue.
Yes.
They're much bigger. But what is important is what you call transformational, which is essentially that after 70 years of independence, that after 70 years of doing things together, we're still looking at the next phase. It should not happen. 2 countries which have an umbilical cord relationship should have a relationship now that should be an example to others. We should not be still saying that there is potential.
We should be doing cheers while that's not happened yet.
The word I'd like to use in some relationship, I think it's an evolving relationship.
Yes.
Because over a period of time it's evolved.
Yeah.
It now needs to evolve into a relationship which is a winning partnership.
Yes.
And a relationship which actually consolidates what has happened so far.
Yes.
But moves on to what I would call equal footing. Because in a way India's changed, UK is changing. And therefore you need to have a partnership which is based on mutuality, mutual respect, and building on the people-to-people relationship that I've contributed the book, and my idea really is that we've got to really consolidate the people-to-people connection, the connection to institutions, because as Manoj said, the transactional relationship isn't just about trade. You would actually win trade if you win hearts. And that's what is extremely important.
And just to elaborate on that particular point, throughout the book, various contributors talk and refer to Prime Minister Modi's phrase, the living bridge that binds the countries together, and it's a living bridge of ideas, of innovation, of technology, and sharing all of these. But ultimately, it's people-to-people connect, and that's what.
I want to come
Can I bring one other point before I move on?
Yes.
When Manoj talked about global relationship, I think what I refer to in my article is the link that if the UK and Britain come together, then the winning on the global stage, they could make a real contribution to the platform of the Commonwealth. Because in a way, both the countries, I think, have values and assets and the epicenter of culture. Therefore, coming together, they could make a real contribution, which would actually be what I call almost a high moral ground in terms of world relations. Because the world, the way it's going, we need to build bridges. It's not just a living bridge between the two countries. Coming together, they can build bridges across the globe. And that's where I think we have to work really hard to make the relationship based on equal footing, mutual understanding, but with a big vision of where we need to go.
Which I think equal footing is the one that I'm talking about. I, as a journalist, have seen a kind of a shift in speaking to speaking with a relationship that has happened since Prime Minister Modi came. And I want to come to the position on the day your book was launched and when High Commissioner gave this speech, and that was a complete, I feel, a turning point in my head for the kind of partnership that we want to have but not yet have had. But before I go there and play that clip, I would like Ms. Blackman to comment on whatever you have heard, and also Mangy and Son eventually.
I mean, I think the reality is that it is absolutely vital for Britain and India to have this excellent relationship. But it goes beyond that. We turned our backs on our Commonwealth partners when we joined the European Union. And I think there's a real feeling, both in India and the rest of the Commonwealth, that was Britain looking to Europe rather than looking to our traditional allies. And so what I like, I haven't had a chance to read the excellent book, which we've all received a copy of yet. So I've got my plug-in.
We've all plugged in.
But I do think that this is important, that Britain, in coming out of the European Union, now has the opportunity to forge relationships across the world on an equal footing with whomsoever wishes to have such a relationship with us. And if you've got a relationship that goes back 400 years, then obviously that is one that you would naturally try and revitalise. And I do think there are all aspects, not only trade, but intelligence, on security, where I see the benefit already of India having a special relationship with Israel, which I think that's going to be a gain. Britain and India, the United States, and I think beyond to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all part of our great Commonwealth, coming together to actually not having the revitalising the old empire, but actually having an equal footing on which we not only trade,
but on other issues.
But on all other issues as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
we speak the same language.
Yes.
I mean,
But I wanted to take off on this
we
equal
are
footing,
natural.
because the reason I want to talk about the equal footing is it hasn't taken place up till now.
Yes, that's what
And-
That's the point
And the feeling,
Yes.
and the feeling is, why suddenly equal footing? Because why has Britain suddenly woken up and rediscovered the Commonwealth, rediscovered that it has relations across?
Because it needs to now.
It
needs to now.
But when? So my
regaining our
my question is this: because we have agreed that it needs to, Britain has to now deal with the world in a different manner than the way it has dealt in the last 70 years. So it has to stop dealing with the world the way it has dealt over the last 70 years and discover that it's a new world.
Yes.
A world in which Britain is no more the country it was, and it needs to work with others
just
to do this.
Precisely, just on
Quickly,
the issue.
can I just get Dhimanji and Sanjay ji on
I agree
this?
with Bob saying, see, the reviving of Commonwealth and all this is very good.
Yes.
It should be a global thing actually. Not only on equal footing, but there should be a reciprocity as well. Mutuality. That is, see, you only talk of business and all this. What about the human trafficking? What about the manpower which is going here and there? There are certain restrictions for the, even today in the newspaper we read, that are still harping on the what is people and all those things. But when it comes to trade relations with India or any Commonwealth country, you don't see the same type of matching things coming out of UK.
Sanjay ji, can I just quickly get you and then Manoj ji gets
basically
you.
we have started talking about the relationship between India and UK at this point of time because we are afraid of what will happen after the Brexit. Everybody, see, it's a dilemma. In fact, nobody is sure about what will happen. Everybody is keeping the finger crossed to see the impact of the Brexit. Now, see, if I see from my perspective, we have to have the various layers of the relationship between UK and India as a cultural relationship and the trade relationship. And I don't see, recently I have come to UK, I don't find, I'm finding at home as if I was in India earlier. So culturally, I can say we have the very strong relationship with UK, get the impact on Indians, and Indians are having the impact of the UK. And coming to the trade relationship, going forward, I don't see there would be any impact in terms of the trade between India and UK. Rather, I would say it will be more deeper going forward after the Brexit.
There has to be readiness from the UK to speak. Yes, we are partnership, we are speaking with each other, but to support India in the goals that on terrorism, like he said, if UK cannot be housing the fugitives while expecting and a lot of elements, and while expecting that we will have an equal partnership and a free trade relationship. Now, if UK is looking at going to a free trade relationship with India, which we will talk about, UK has to be ready to be that, isn't it? Can you explain that? Because, and I see that shift.
Why should any country have a relation with another country? Why would India want to have with Britain something different from what it has with everybody else?
Yes.
It's because Britain would want the same thing from us.
Yes.
If Britain starts equating us with others,
Yes.
the same thing will happen on the Indian side.
Yeah.
If you do not make a conscious decision that if I have to have a great relation with India, I have to do something which goes beyond having the same relationship with other countries.
Yes.
So you have to
what?
dehyphenate, and you cannot give an excuse that because I have a good relation with that country, I cannot go beyond a certain stage with you because I am limited by that.
Yes.
The same thing then happens to us.
Yes.
That if I have to go beyond something with that country,
Yes.
then I will say that I am limited by the fact that I have to go with other countries which are more willing and more forthcoming
Yes.
than UK.
But you
So the point
achieved a
is both
success with
sides.
Burhan Wani thing, I think. I have to say that's a success that we did manage to...
No, Burhan Wani was not success. I won't call it success. It's something which even the UK
No,
side
not
recognizes.
success, but
UK side
recognition at
recognizes. You see, the point is this is a free, open, liberal country like us. It's a democracy where we allow all kinds of people to speak their minds. But point that we do is, you can do any rally, you can do any movement, you can do a dharna, strike, anything you want. But when it comes to the cutting edge, which is, where do you draw the line in glorification of terrorists? Where do you draw the line in encouraging terrorism? That's where we say.
Yes.
And the UK Terrorism Act itself says that you should not allow acts which glorify or encourage terrorism. The point is when Burhan Wani is being encouraged, when you are allowing somebody to have a rally in the name of a terrorist, then where do you draw the line?
Do you think we're ready?
We have to be very clear on this, that Britain has a proud record of freedom of speech.
Exactly.
And the problem is that if you start clamping down on the right to demonstrate, the right to speak out on things, you have to be very careful, because if you do clamp down on that,
there's no limit.
Where are the limits? You become a totalitarian state.
But Theresa May has already said that has to change at some level.
Well, I think we've got to be careful about this, because we don't want. I mean, I think the worst thing you can do is stifle debate, which often can actually promote the very causes that these terrorists promote.
No, I agree, because I just want to make a small point. That's the reason the same rally of Buran Mani, which was cancelled, we had no objection to when the rally only demonstrated about other issues which are peaceful in nature.
Okay, let's work on a new paradigm with positive attitude in the next segment, beyond Brexit. So we'll get all of that together, and we'll have a chance to have a little bit of food, which I will. So, so thank you very much. But in the next segment, stay tuned. We're going to discuss about the positive. What is the positive movement that both countries can have, the opportunities that they have, that Brexit has given, and therefore beyond Brexit. So stay tuned on Chai Chat. We have some more lovely things to come through about the two countries. Thank you.
Brought to you by Bank of Baroda, India's international bank. Air India, a Star Alliance partner. Himalaya 10X Royal for men's power and health.